Once was a land of woe and strife, where the people were bereft of hope. They prayed to their gods of might and light to deliver the heroes of old. Instead they got heroes. Did you hear the quotes in my voice of moral ambiguity? They may help or may not help you at all. Depends on what's in it for them. They kick and they punch and they maul and they smash. They lie and they scheme and they burn and they slash. Succeed or fail, it adds to the tale. Dungeons and Debacle starts now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Kevin. Going around the table, Shane.
That's my name. I'm here as Bard Alexander.
And Blake.
I'm Blake, and I'll be playing Juliet, the eldritch fighter / wizard. I keep forgetting to mention that.
And Hannah.
I'm Hannah, and I'll be playing Talia, the human rogue.
So, the last time on Dungeons and Debacles podcast, if I can remember correctly, it's been so long. Let's see, you guys were given some maps and scrolls and passwords and a plan to infiltrate the Isle of Insight to steal the artifact, the Amulet of Dominion. You made it to the embassy of the Isle of Insight, and the last time we saw you, you were getting ready to get onto a boat. As you and the other students board the boat, it's a very large riverboat, about 20 feet wide and 60 feet long. It's made of wood, and there doesn't appear to be any visible means of propulsion. There's no mast and no paddles that you see. Somebody give me a perception check.
I will attempt to perceive. It's all coming back to me. A whole 6. Passive of 10.
Yeah. You don't really notice anything about the boat.
Sweet.
As you guys are getting on the boat, you notice... give me another perception check.
Nice.
9.
Those bad rolls out of the way.
Intervals of 3, man. 3's my lucky number, but these rolls are unlucky.
Okay. Anybody else want to give me a perception check?
There you go.
That's a 19. Talia notices that Adel is no longer with you in your party.
Hey, where'd that one guy go?
Oh no, good riddance.
Wow, that's pretty cold of you.
So, after everyone gets on the boat, you see the deckhands cast off the lines, and your Idris, the gnome, who is your wizard contact that gathered you on the boat, starts to cast a spell on the helm of the boat, and it starts to move through the water at a good clip upriver. As you're settling in on the boat, you notice there's about 10 other novices with you. They're all dressed in fine robes, and you think it must cost a pretty penny to attend the school on the Isle of Insight, because it looks like they have some money. None of the other novices appear to have attendants with them, and their lack of attendance and your older age kind of make you stick out on the boat. All but one of them appears to be in their teens. The other one that doesn't appear to be in their teens is a drow woman you judge to be about 60 in elf years. She is purposely reading a book and trying to ignore a tall, attractive human boy with shoulder-length blonde hair who appears to be about 16 who's talking to her. There's another human boy that's younger, maybe about 12, with shaggy brown hair that's currently watching the exchange. There's a young male elf with silver robes and blonde hair looking over the side of the boat, having a conversation with a female dwarf dressed in a bright yellow robe. There's a chubby male halfling dressed in leather and a green cloak sitting on a crate towards the aft of the boat, snacking on a pastry. Toward the bow of the boat, there's 3 human females sitting in a circle having a conversation. The resemblance between them is striking. They all have black hair and similar faces, and all close in age. You think they're probably about 14 or 15 years old. And you think they're probably related, considering how much they look alike. And then at the helm of the boat, you see a male gnome who appears to be in his 30s, asking question after question to the helmsman about the boat. You can tell the helmsman is trying to be civil, but is getting tired of answering questions.
Okay. I would like to go up to the 12-year-old and introduce myself.
Okay, so as you're walking toward... You're talking about the 12-year-old boy, right?
That's correct.
So as you walk towards the 12-year-old boy, you notice that the attractive older boy appears to be hitting on this drow girl without much success. And that younger boy watching the exchange says with a smirk, "You know you're trying to court a woman who's older than your mother, do you not? Let me know how that works out for you, friend." And then the drow snorts a laugh from behind her book, and the older boy turns red, obviously embarrassed and furious. And he begins casting a spell and reaching out for the younger boy. Juliet and Alexander, since you're spellcasters, you can give me an Arcana check.
Sure thing.
You got it, Blammo.
Oh, 7 on my end.
19.
So Alexander would know that this 16-year-old older boy is beginning to cast Chill Touch. So the other person who recognized the spell is Idris, the gnome wizard. He begins casting a spell you don't recognize, and the boy's spell fizzles. And the gnome yells, "Flynn, you fool! Do you want to be expelled before you can even reach the tower?" Clep casts Mage Hand and boxes the boy's ear. "Let that be a lesson to you all. No casting magic unless you're told to do so and under the direction of a senior wizard or upperclassman. And absolutely no attacking other students. Am I clear?" And the
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and the other students on the boat say yes. And then the gnome spits, "Necromancy. Shame on you, Thomas. And whoever taught someone your age that spell. And you, Kirby," as he looks at the younger boy who was teasing the older boy. "Teasing older, more powerful people isn't going to help you win friends, and it may just get you hurt." And then a awkward silence falls across the boat as Idris glares at the other students. And then the gnome says, "I suggest you get to know each other and make nice. We still have hours before we reach the Isle. Every one of you will be studying and working with each other at the school for what will seem like a very long time. Few, if any of you, will make it to graduation, and your studies will be hard and take years. But I'm sure you were warned of that before you came here. Chances are even more slim that any of you will reach the rank of Archmage. And I'm also sure some of your rich parents sent you here to either learn enough not to kill yourselves or just to get you out of their hair until you could be married off or set out on your own as merchants, nobles, or adventurers. But I don't see that last in any of you. We will weed you out soon enough. We always do. Then you can go back to whatever gilded cage you came from." Idris huffs and walks back to his chair near the helm and sits down. He pulls a book from under his robe and begins reading. So, Talia, did you want to say something to the boy?
Yeah, I'll sit down next to him and say, "Wow, that got pretty tense."
Yeah, I've known Thomas for a while. He could be a hothead.
I'm Talia.
I'm Kirby.
It's nice to meet you, Kirby.
Nice to meet you, too. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from kind of all over. My parents traveled a lot.
And what do your parents do?
They're merchants. They travel all over the place selling goods and wares, whatever makes money.
So are you coming to the Isle as a student?
No, I'm coming here with a family friend as her lady's maid.
Oh, is it that Dragonborn?
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
She looks imposing.
That is also true.
So will you be here the entire time throughout their studies? It could be years.
Yeah, I went as a favor. I'm kind of hoping to learn, maybe pick something up.
Magic-wise?
Maybe just, knowledge in general.
Well, they say knowledge is power.
That they do. Anyway, I just wanted to introduce myself.
Well, it was nice to meet you. I'm sure I'll be seeing you on the Isle.
I'm sure I'll see you around. And I'll walk back to the group.
Can I go talk to Idris? Whatever the guy in charge is.
Absolutely.
I go and approach him and I tap him on the shoulder since he's reading a book, yeah?
So, He puts the book down and he turns around to look at you and says, "What do you want?"
Hey, I saw the commotion that happened earlier. I just had a quick question for you, if you wouldn't mind.
Go ahead.
So, whenever blonde guy was trying to do a spell, you said that he was casting necromancy?
Yes.
But wasn't he casting Chilling Touch?
That is a necromantic spell.
I guess I got it mixed up. It's my bad.
Is there anything else?
Nope. I'm just gonna stop being a hindrance. Thanks.
He gives you a nod and goes back to reading.
I step away. That was a good impression, huh?
Of what?
Ignorance.
Yep.
Oh, were you trying to be ignorant? Or were you lying about that?
No, I didn't realize that it was a necromantic spell. I thought it'd be more of like an elemental kind of thing. Yeah, I just...
necrotic damage if I recall correctly, so...
Alright, so is there anything else you want to do on the boat before you approach the isle?
I think I'm good.
Alright, so after a few hours, as you approach the Isle of Insight, the first thing you see is a sliver of bright white light in the distance, like the sun drawn into a line coming from the ground and reaching into the sky. As you get closer, you see it's the sun reflecting off an impossibly tall silver tower. It's without a doubt the most impressive thing you've ever seen. It must be at least 100 stories tall. It's easily the tallest thing you've ever seen, and think it had to have been built by magic. As you get even closer, you begin to see the isle itself. It appears to be about 3 miles wide. As you approach land, you see the docks here are much smaller than Carnley. It's also much less populated than Carnley, with smaller, and by smaller I mean 5 to 10 story buildings surrounding the tower. There appears to be a lot of planning in the arrangement of buildings, and there's a lot of green space here. It's without a doubt the most impressive thing you've probably ever seen, and it must be at least 60 stories tall. Does anybody want to give me a history check?
I'll
Stand
attempt.
aside, boys. God damn it, 6.
I got an 8.
Yeah, 6, 8, and 11. With that check, you would know that the Isle of Insight has been around a really, really long time. You know, it's one of the few places that survived the Age of Ruin largely untouched because of its geography, and because it's an island full of powerful wizards. You know, the Isle is the center of magic and magical training in Sul-El. The grand majority of the most powerful and respected wizards in at least recent times trained here. You also know they have a lot of embassies around the world. Most of the larger cities in the world will have an embassy in them. And although it's located in the Plains Nation, it's considered its own country because who's going to tell a city full of powerful wizards what to do? You know, it's ruled by a council of powerful archmages, but that's about it. You also know they have an ambassador and advisors who advise rulers around the world, and many of them serve as court wizards. They don't try to rule nations, but when they speak, rulers listen. Your boat goes about a half-mile east from the main docks and lands. There's no hustle and bustle here like you would have in a market or warehouse district that are traditionally off of docks. This appears to be a private dock for the use of the tower. As you disembark from the boat, you see several carriages waiting for you. All the footmen and workers here appear to be dressed in silver-colored silk tunics with a black symbol on the chest. And hold on just a second.
Symbol.
Okay, so if you're in the world map right now, I've just put a map up of the Isle of Insight. You can see that the big circular place is the tower off to the west, and I've also just put the picture of the symbol on the livery.
Got it.
All right, you're loading into the carriages, and there's the footmen in the livery that are, you know, taking your baggage and loading it onto another carriage, and you're taken to the tower. So you are on this road for probably about 10 minutes. You notice a lot of the areas of this town where you're going through, kind of like the embassy section. You're seeing, you know, flags from different nations. on the different houses there, so you think that's probably their embassies. As you get closer to the tower, you notice there's no gates and no guards near the entrance. And you think anyone with the courage or the stupidity to attack the center of magic in this world would soon regret their mistake. The tower is about 100 feet wide at its base and tapers to a point like a cone at the top. It's smooth, unblemished silver without windows, and it has one silver 15-foot wide, 20-foot tall door at the base. There is like a park that surrounds the tower. You see a lot of benches and trees. After the carriages stop and everyone gets out, Idris says, "Welcome to the tower, the seat of magic in this world and your home for the next several years. The Copper Piece tour will begin tomorrow. I'll show you to your new home in the students' quarters, except the two of you, I hear." And he looks at Juliet and Alexander and says, "As I understand, your boarding has been arranged at the Tower Inn. I wonder how you'll pay for that for years, but that isn't any of my business. It's to the north of the tower. Don't be late for your orientation tomorrow. We won't be sending you a courtesy wake-up call. Be there at 8 in the morning or you'll be sorry. You'll meet with Mage Cirrus Jurin tomorrow morning in the front of the tower. He'll be your caretaker from now on. Mind him well and you shouldn't have any trouble. Cross him and, well, good luck with that. Your rooms have been assigned and dinner is waiting on you, as well as the student uniforms you'll wear and your sigil that will grant you access to the tower. You will not be allowed in the tower without the sigil, so don't forget it. Is there any questions?" And no one else in your group is saying anything. So, are you guys headed to the inn?
Yeah, where are we picking up our stuff again?
The footmen have taken your baggage and taken it off the carriages and set it out for you.
Okay.
So currently you are on this side of the tower right here where I'm pinging, and then the tower ends just right here. It's probably less than like maybe 150 yards.
Okay, and what time of day is it?
Right now it's late afternoon.
Okay, I like to just head to the end. Ask Julia if she has anything against it.
By all means. I'd like to take a look around and see if, well, what sort of things they have available here.
Okay. You can take a look around, or you might even be able to find a map through a vendor, or they may even have one at the inn.
I was just going to say heading to the merchant district is probably the best move to find something if we need it. And a map is a good idea as well. But just to browse, because I didn't bring any gold with me, because someone else has it all.
That I do. Do you need some?
No, not right now.
Give me a history check.
Alright, 23.
Okay, so you would know, on the Isle of Insight, they've got some mundane stuff going on, that they create here in their industrial district. But, where the merchants, or the mercantile really shines on the Isle of Insight is basically, this is like the wholesaler for a lot of magical items in Sul-El. So one of the main industries that goes on here is mages will create very common magical items up into some more powerful items, and they sell them. And in the merchant district, the representatives basically make sells to, people and traders from all over Sul-El that, take them back to their various cities and towns and resell them. So if there's any magical item that you're looking for, you're going to be able to find it in the merchants district, but whether or not you can afford it is a different story.
Alright, that is good to know.
Yeah, so basically anything that's not an artifact, you're going to be able to find it here.
Who knows, we might accidentally stumble upon a pile of gold in someone's room. Oh no.
Was that a hint?
Yeah, no.
Alright, so you guys are here by the tower. The students' quarters are down here at number 3 to the south here. The Tower Inn is where you're going to be staying, which is number 2 right here on the map.
Okay, just can I ask a couple questions real quick?
Sure.
So do we have a time limit that we have to get this thing by?
You weren't given one.
Okay, do we know how long this room's paid for?
Well, you don't actually know how long it's paid for.
Okay.
You just know that it was arranged hastily and it cost quite a bit of money.
Got it. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure to see what stipulations we have to get this thing.
I mean, you could always ask at the front desk of the Tower Inn what you're paid through.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
So, what do you guys want to do?
I'm ready to just go to sleep and wait till tomorrow.
Make sure to ask before you sleep.
Got it.
So, you guys headed to the Tower Inn?
Correct.
Anything you need, Talia?
Not right now, although I do want to check out the merchant district at some point.
All right, we will make that a priority then.
Well, you do have, probably a couple hours before even sunset.
Oh, okay.
You said late afternoon, so I was like thinking like 6 o'clock, 7.
It's probably more like 4 or 5.
Okay.
So you've probably got like 2 or 3 hours before the sun sets.
In that case, I'd like to go to the merchant district.
Okay. So, Shane, you're going to the inn, and Talia, you're going to the merchant district. What are you doing, Juliet?
Like I said, I was going to head to the merchant district and check things out. Not buy anything, though.
Okay. So let's do the merchant district first. Are you carrying your baggage and luggage with you, or are you dropping that off?
Dropping it off, definitely. And securing it so people don't go and peek inside.
Okay, so let's just say you're all going to the Tower Inn first then.
Sure.
So you walk to the Tower Inn, and the place is just incredible. It's every bit as impressive as the Carnley Inn and Stables. It's rose marble and 6 stories tall and about 100 feet on a side. There's a bronze fence and gate surrounding the inn with stables in the back. You walk inside, and there's these gray marble floors with dark wood walls and a massive fireplace in the lobby. There's silver chandeliers without any visible means of suspension giving off magical white light. There's a front desk made of dark wood and 3 attendants on duty. You see a bellhop that appears to be a human man of strong build near the desk waiting to take someone to the room. So, who's approaching the desk?
I'll approach.
Alexander goes up to the desk, and the desk attendant is a human in red livery with a gold embroidered key on his chest. He says, "Welcome to the Tower Inn. I'm Chet. How may I be of service to you?"
Hey, we're here to check in. We're on the names of... I've forgotten our alter. Out of character, I've forgotten our alter egos. What is it again?
Psst.
That,
You forgot your name? Your name is Finnel Hatch.
Doral Fetch, right?
No, he just told you. It's Finnel Hatch.
Finnel Hatch, okay. I'm here to come in by the name of Finnel Hatch.
So, he checks the ledger in front of him and says, "Yes, I have your booking here, along with a Yorish red scale. Your rooms are ready, and here are your keys. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help you. Hamlin, our attendant is at your service if you require assistance with your baggage. Would you like your supper brought to your rooms, or will you be dining in our banquet room? Or perhaps you need counsel on dining establishments in the city."
Hey, what do you think, Juliet? Fucking Red Scale. Is it Red Scale? I'm terrible with names. I always forget.
My name is Yorish Redscale, and you'd best not forget it.
I was saying it out of character, but sure.
You're bad. Yes, well, I will be dining with my, what do they call it, handmaiden? Upstairs in our own room. But I did have one question. I really do value my privacy. Is this entire place, or at least the rooms, covered by some sort of interrupting magic so that we may have privacy?
No, we do not have an on-site wizard.
That's a real shame.
Are you in need of a wake-up call? We have a clock. We can also have breakfast waiting on you at any hour.
Oh, yes, definitely. What do you think, Fennel? Or Master Hatch, I suppose. Shall we wake up at, say, 6:37? I believe they told us 8 was our destination time. That gives us plenty of time to get ready.
Yeah, I'd say wake up call at 6:30, breakfast at 7.
Absolutely, no problem.
Thanks.
Well, let's get our belongings upstairs.
So Chet snaps his finger, and Hamlin, the human, comes over and asks, do you require any assistance with your baggage?
I think we should be fine. Do you need any help?
Well, I'm not going to dirty my hands by walking all the way up there with our luggage. If you could, Hamlin, I'd very much appreciate it to bring just a couple suitcases. Well, one.
Absolutely. And he takes the bag, and he's ready to go. You could, do you know what rooms you're staying in? They're on the keys.
I look at my key.
It appears that you are in on the 5th floor, 502 and 503.
Okay. Do you guys happen to have an elevator? Or is it just stairs?
Chet says, absolutely, we have an elevator. It's over to the right, at the end of the hall.
Perfect. I go and start walking to the elevator.
Okay, so you get to the elevator, and it's basically set up exactly like the other one that you saw in Carnley was set up, probably the same magical manufacturer. So you get inside the elevator, and Hamlin's ask you what floor you're going to.
5th.
And as you say 5th, the elevator starts moving, and a few minutes later, it stops, and the door opens, and you're on the 5th floor.
I start making my way to my room. Are there just numbers outside of the entrances?
Yes.
Let's keep on walking until I see mine.
You don't have to walk very far. You are the 2nd and 3rd room, and your keys open the door.
Easy enough. I give... there was a person helping Red Skill, yeah?
That is correct.
I go and give over 4 gold to the person helping her.
And Hamlin says, thank you very much. Just let us know if there's anything we can do to make our stay more enjoyable.
Thank you.
And he leaves.
Yes, we're going in our rooms.
Yes, let's get settled in before we discuss what we're going to do. Also, Talia, because this place isn't protected by magic, that I don't suppose you've learned a couple of discreet hand signs or ways of talking differently so we can remain hidden and undiscovered.
Talia would have picked up on thieves' cant on the streets.
I knew I would know something like that. Okay, so I would tell them that I know thieves' cant. Some of it.
I don't know
Or
that Juliet would know that, but there's probably a chance that Alexander may, since he is a bard.
Yeah, he'd definitely be able to do something like that.
Or at least know some of it.
Yeah, should I do like a check, or is it just something that I would just intrinsically like?
Give me a intelligence check, maybe?
Yeah, I'll do an intelligence check, I guess. 12.
12. So I'll say that you know like a little bit of it, like some, basic, some words and, representatives of actions, but you don't know like all the nuances of it.
Yeah, so I can like kind of get the context, but not the full understanding.
Yeah, it would be like, having, 1 semester of Spanish and like going to Mexico and expecting to be functional. You're just not. You're going to pick up on some stuff, but not, know exactly what people are saying.
Got it. I go and express this to the other two.
So out of character, for my own future reference and possibly for your help, I've posted a link that has translations for thieves' cant. This should make RPing fun and interesting.
So Alexander tells you that he knows little thieves' cant.
Okay. I tell them that I will help them learn some useful phrases for future use, but not here where we can be overheard.
Well, I mean, it's not like, you're in like paper thin walls of an America's
Fair.
Best Value, travel motel.
That's fair.
You have some privacy. I mean, you are in rooms,
I'm not
so
saying
there's
that.
a reasonable expectation of whatever you say in these rooms that people aren't going to hear you unless they're like by the keyhole, listening. Are you teaching them this now, or were you going to the market district, or what are you doing?
I feel like maybe when we have a little bit more time, it would be better to sit down with them a little later, because I know that at least 2 of us want to go to the market district. So maybe this evening, if we have dinner delivered to our room, then we can go over dinner.
Yeah, I was going through the simple thieves' cant, and all the other, like, usually there's like one English phrase for the cant, like what you're meaning to, and then I get to G and it's gallows, and there's like 15 different ways to say gallows, and it's just so out of place.
Well, I mean, thieves around gallows a lot, I guess. It's like, having Inuit people, having, 15 different words for snow.
Yeah, there's also like 15 things for hanged.
There's a word for a stolen calf.
Ooh, not getting that calf.
Okay,
back.
sorry. Back into character. So yeah, I can teach you guys some stuff over dinner that'll help us out.
You betcha.
All right, so are you going to have dinner now, or what are you guys doing next? Are you going to the market district?
I'm just chilling here for a minute.
I'm going to ask very nicely if I can have a little bit of pocket money for the market district.
Yeah, how much you thinking?
Like 10 gold?
You got it. I gave her 10 gold.
Come on, spoil her a little bit. 10 more.
10 gold's a lot of money.
Oh, now it's a lot of money for me.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want 10 gold, you just gotta ask.
Give me a history check.
Me?
Any of you can.
10.
19.
So Juliet would know that 10 gold with the exchange rate and the prices in the city is not a lot of money. It's probably worth about half that value, just because there's so much gold that flows in and out of this city. They would be like a New York City or like Boston exchange rate for the cost of living on this small little island where most of it's set up for rich merchants and powerful dignitaries. All that to say that 10 gold's about worth like 5 or 6 gold, depending on your haggling skills on this island.
Yeah, so the exchange rates are a little more pricey.
How do you mean?
Well, you have one of the highest places of magic, of course, and it's settled all next to this nice big watery area where merchants can come and deal in goods, exotic and magic, things they probably can't unload very easily elsewhere. Places like Carnley, How many magic shops did you see there? Nothing like that what they have here, I'm sure. So all of that money isn't going to be worth quite as much because on here there's not much of a choice in terms of where you get your stuff. Granted, it is higher quality, but it's still going to be expensive.
Makes sense. Here you go on.
But ironically enough, magical items here are actually cheaper because this is the source. But, if, you're getting a steak dinner or, buying some mundane goods, they have to ship some of that stuff in. And considering people who live here have a lot of money, those things are more expensive.
Yeah, so I'd go and give another 10 to little one. So you guys leaving, or just like to hang around?
Well, we are obviously going to the merchant quarter. Would you like to join us? Yes, no, maybe so?
I think I'm good. We have our first day of school tomorrow.
Yeah.
Got you a new book
Am I
bag.
with you guys?
What's that?
Am I going with you guys, or am I hanging out at the hotel? And
I would imagine that you're going with Juliet, that's why I gave you pocket money.
no, I mean to school.
I think you would probably just stick around here since we're students and you have to have the sigil to get inside.
We'll see at the front door.
Hmm?
Oh, also, check to see how long we're actually supposed to be in here.
Yeah, I was going to check up on that whenever you guys went away.
Okay, perfect. Shall we, Miss Talia?
I think we shall.
All right, so are you leaving the hotel?
Yes.
Are you going to walk there or hire a carriage?
I think walking is probably the most cost-effective way.
True.
I agree.
So if you start walking, you are going to walk through this grand open area here where I'm pinging. And this is Central Park of the Isle of Insight. You see a large pond in the middle of it. There's fountains and trees everywhere. large open spaces where you see people just lounging and reading books because it's a nice evening. You walk here to the east down this road, and then you'll start seeing merchant buildings with signs for all sorts of goods and services. Is there if there's anything in particular that you're looking for, you could probably just ask somebody on the street, and they would be, or another vendor, and they'd be able to tell you. But as you're walking through here, you notice that the buildings are getting closer together, and it appears that some of these buildings have multiple floors with different businesses on each floor.
I am going to see where like magical clothing would be.
Okay. So as you're walking deeper and deeper in, you're going to start seeing larger buildings with advertisements for magical items. You can wander around for a little bit and find what you're looking for, or ask someone on the street.
I'm looking for cloaks. Specifically cloaks that might bend shadows and lights.
Okay, so we'll say that you find a store with magical clothing in it. It is a white 3-story building, and there is a platinum sign out in front of it, and in gold lettering it says "The Wizard's Wardrobe."
Is Juliet still with me?
Yep.
Hey, can you ask that guy if they have any cloaks that like bend shadows or something cool like that?
Of course. It might be a little out of our price range, but I guess it doesn't hurt to ask.
Well, I just want to see what the price range would be.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'm gonna walk in there and take a gander.
Okay, as you walk in, there is a human who appears to run the store that sees you come in, and right now there's only like one other person inside the store, and they appear to be browsing. He sees you walk in and says, "Welcome to the Wizard's Wardrobe. May I help you?"
Yes. Good evening. I'm looking for, say, a cloak. Something that can, I don't know, bend shadows or make you hidden in some way. I want to play a really good prank on a friend of mine. Would you happen to have any of that stuff?
Yes, we would. I believe you're looking for a cloak of elven kind.
I'm not 100% sure what that is, but I assume that is what I want.
It will help you hide if you have the hood up. The
okay.
cloak
That sounds perfect.
It'll shift colors to camouflage you against your background. Would you like to see one?
I certainly would.
So he leads you to the back of the shop, and you see all kinds of different cloaks hanging on pegs, and starts looking around and pointing his finger until he points to this one that appears to be like a greenish gray cloak. He pulls it off the peg, and he holds it out for you to like slip into.
Oh, very nice. I don't suppose you'd have a smaller version?
He says, all of our cloaks could be tailored to fit any frame.
Oh, perfect. That's even better than I thought. This one is quite stylish, I have to say. How much would it be?
Yes, that will be 5,500 gold.
It's an awful lot to pull a prank off. Now I may be back to purchase this again. I'm glad you were getting this cloak. You certainly produce good items, or at least sell them in a very courteous and acceptable way. I'll make sure to let my friends know that you sell quality items. And again, I might be back should I need it.
Yes, you do that. And you kind of get the impression that he's kind of like a little peeved that you've wasted his time if you didn't have the money.
Well, have a fair evening, sir.
You as well, ma'am.
Alright. Juliet's gonna walk outside and inform Talia that it might be a little out of our price range.
Well, shoot. I don't think I can pickpocket that much.
It might not be worth trying to do that. Just because of how much magic there is around, who knows what kind of spells.
Yeah, you kind of get the feeling that there's a lot of magic on this island, that probably a lot of these businesses are magically protected. Give me an Arcana check.
Oh, me as well?
Yes.
9.
you don't notice anything strange about the outside of the building. Is there anything else you want to do in the market district? Anything else you want to look for?
An ice cream shop.
Okay. So, when you started entering the market district, you noticed that there was some dining establishments and confectionaries. So, we'll say that one of the candy shops has frozen cream.
I'd like to purchase some of that because I've never had any before.
All right, they've got a bunch of different flavors. Strawberry and chocolate, vanilla, gooseberry.
I'll try a scoop of chocolate and a scoop of strawberry.
Okay, so that'll be 1 gold piece.
Happily handed over.
And it is delicious. Roll for delicious. Man, I'm looking at some of the prices. Like
They're pretty high.
Yeah, +3 weapon is 16,000 gold pieces.
Granted, +3 is the highest you can get.
Right, but if you had one of those, you'd be rolling in it if you sold it. Hell, a Vorpal sword's 24,000.
Would it be a Constitution save against deliciousness?
Yeah. A Holy Avenger is the most expensive thing on this list, and it's 165,000 gold pieces.
I got a 17 on my Constitution save for delicious.
You succeed. It is
Yay.
very delicious.
Well, we probably have some stuff that we could sell, but I think all of that stuff is held by Adel at the moment, so...
I think Shane's got the bag, doesn't he? Or who has the bag?
Yeah, I have all the gold.
I meant the magic items.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm in possession of ones that no one has yet.
Okay.
All right. So, is there anything else you want to do in the merchant district?
Not I.
That was it for now.
All right. And Shane, did you say you were going downstairs in the inn?
That is correct.
We'll just say that you guys make it, Juliet and Talia, you make it back to the inn with no problem. So, what are you doing, Shane, downstairs?
I'm gonna go to the guy at the front desk.
It's Chet. He's still on duty.
Hey, Chet, how's it going?
I am well, sir. Can I help you with something?
Yeah, I just have a question or two. One about my room and the other about the local area.
I will answer them to the best of my ability, sir.
Yeah, so would it be possible for you to figure out how long our room is paid for?
Yes, a moment. And he thumbs through the ledger and finds your name. You see him going across the page, and it says, it appears that your room is paid for on a monthly basis, and you'll pay it up through the end of the month.
Perfect. And would you happen to have a map of the local area?
Yes, we do. And he reaches underneath the counter, and he pulls out like one of the fold-out maps, and he does the thing that all hotel clerks at every hotel does when they pull out the map. They pull it out, and he pulls out this quill and ink pot. He says, you are currently here, and he circles a spot on the map to indicate the Tower Inn, and then he goes through the different districts. He says, down here below us is the Tower. You're currently at the Tower Inn. Here's Central Park. Here's the Embassy District. He circles that, or points to it. And then he says, and here are the housing district where most of the workers in the town live. This is the merchant district where you can find just about anything that you would be looking for. And then this is the industrial district where many of the goods here are made on the island. If you would like any specific information about any business, I can help you with that as well.
Got it, thanks. I think that's all I need for now.
Very well.
Have a good night. I go and walk away over to the elevator.
Juliet and Talia, you make it back to the inn. I'm assuming you're probably going to want dinner at some point. You can order that if you want.
I was just about to say that. I would go to the front desk for that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Juliet's gonna order some food, and Talia, I don't know if you have your own taste in food or not, but...
I'm used to eating trash, so pick something for me.
Okay.
So Chet gives you a menu, and you see some stuff on here about like traditional Kopeth cuisine with it says spicy. There's also a selection of regionally sourced game, such as boar and venison and such. And there's even some vegetarian options. You think that's probably for the elves. So we'll just say that you choose something.
Yeah.
And you're going to have it sent to your room.
Can I have ice cream for dinner?
I'm not even sure if they sell that, but if they do provide it, then I don't see why not.
Yeah, you see that they do have ice cream on the menu.
I will simply order a scoop of every flavor they have.
Chet's eyes go a little wide at that, like he's looking at Juliet like you're a bad parent.
Oh, no, sir, you misunderstand. Most of that is for me. I'm a bit larger than the average person, you know.
Whatever you say, ma'am. We'll have it sent to your rooms right away.
Much appreciated.
So if there's nothing else that you're doing downstairs, we'll just say that you take the elevator and you're upstairs in your rooms.
That sounds good to me.
So after about 30 minutes or so, you hear a knock on your door, and it's room service with your food.
Perfect. So with our food, and let's see. Right, we need to give him a tip. Or I guess the staff there. We're going to tip them 2 gold, if that's what they're expecting.
Room service takes the gold and says, thank you. Is there anything else I can get you?
Not tonight, but do you provide bathing services, or at least a hot tub?
Yes, we can have hot water brought to your room. You have a tub. Each room has its own tub.
Perfect. If we could do that tonight, that would be much appreciated.
Absolutely, ma'am. Is there anything else?
I don't believe so. That's it.
Excellent. I'll have the hot water brought to your rooms. And with that, he leaves.
Wow. And they gave us a month to do stuff here? We should just wait it out.
I don't know how I'm going to save up that much money in a month, but I'm going to do my best.
What, 5,500 gold for the Cloak of Elvenkind?
Well, yeah, I figured if they're going to be in school for long periods of time, what am I going to do other than, find ways to earn money?
Money.
Quote unquote earn.
Well,
Hold on,
earn,
please.
Get
gather
that 5-finger
information,
discount.
Maybe find where they manufacture the cloaks and get one.
Yes.
Oh, we can definitely do some pickpocket side missions or some thieving side missions. But if it doesn't go well for you, it might be really bad.
Well, I was actually thinking that to gather information, I might get a secondary job as like a messenger or something, and maybe earn a little coin on the side.
You could absolutely do that. I don't know that you're going to make 5,500 gold in a month doing it.
I can try, and that's really what matters.
All right, so you've got your dinner, and about 40 minutes later, some maids knock on your door with hot water for the tub, and they go in and fill the tub up for you. You notice there's like some scented soaps and a scrub brush by the tub that you can clean yourselves with, and then the maids fill up the tub. And is there anything else I can do for your ma'am?
I am a little embarrassed to ask this, but do you sell companionship of a sort? My roommate, or the gentleman in the other room, he has a penchant for such things. He'd never ask directly, but just curious.
Yes, that is a service that we can contract. What sort of taste does this gentleman have?
I honestly can't pin one thing down. Maybe someone with a fair, thin demeanor. An elf, preferably.
Yes, but fair warning. Elves have a lot of, shall we say, pride, and come at a premium. This is no judgment on your means. Just, we've had patrons before that were very surprised by their price.
I think I understand. I'll ask him about it later, but I'm glad you provide those services.
The inn does not provide these services on site, but we can facilitate, shall we say, third-party providers. Is there anything else I can help you with, ma'am?
Oh, no, that's it. Thank you so much.
As you wish. As always, just let us know if there's anything we can do to make your stay more pleasant.
And they leave. Yeah, them elf horror is going to cost you money, man.
I would imagine.
All right, so you've had your dinner. You guys have a bath drawn. I guess you're settling in for the night.
Bathing, double checking that everything's ready for tomorrow, and sleeping, I suppose.
Yeah, one thing that we forgot to talk about too, in each one of your rooms is a box that inside of it are a silver robe with that same black sigil that you saw on the breast of the servants, except this is made out of what looks to be some black metal in the shape of that. That is kind of like a brooch that you'll put on your robes. Give me a nature check.
I'm rolling.
Nice.
Fitting.
Shane, you would know that this is made out of adamantine.
That sounds expensive and useful.
It's the same metal that Borsch Bonebreaker's sword's made out of. The metal is also difficult to create, forge, and shape, which is probably why they used it as their sigil.
Okay, sounded familiar.
So is everyone settling in for the night?
Yeah, can we just assume that I did the same thing as them and ordered dinner and stuff?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, how much did that dinner cost?
You don't know.
Yeah, it's
it's probably paid for. Okay, I wasn't sure if like the dinner provided by the hotel was a thing attached onto our room service, or if it was like a extra thing that they have on the side.
Yeah, this is like sandals, man. It's like all inclusive, except for the elf horse.
Got it. Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right.
Going in the secret chat, huh?
Yep. All right.
Ready.
Give me that wisdom save.
12.
Okay. So you are going to have some pretty disturbing dreams tonight. You are going to... You don't exactly remember what the dream was, but you get the feeling that there was... You only remember some dark impressions from the dream. There was screaming and blood, and somehow a baby was involved. But that's about all you remember.
Okay.
But you only get impressions of that. You don't know exactly what the dream was about.
Got it. I'm just imagining right now that what would happen if I just passed every single wisdom save. Just all of them.
Then you would never know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, that would be less fun, but probably more useful. I'm going back.
All right, y'all, we're back.
So we're curious, what kind of prostitute did you hire?
What?
Yeah, you. Don't worry about it.
What do you mean?
Never mind.
You've besmirched his reputation.
Alexander will remember that.
Only if you write it down in notes.
So the next morning comes, and you guys get a knock on your door about 6:30. That's your wake-up call. And then 30 minutes later, you get another knock on the door, and room services brought you breakfast.
Perfect.
Easy enough.
Assuming you take the breakfast and tip them appropriately. So it's about 15 till 8. So you think it's probably time to start moving to the tower?
Yes, indeed.
So I'm assuming you're leaving the inn, and you go to the tower. And you get outside the tower, and you notice that other students have already gathered in front of the tower. 5 minutes goes by, and you hear a clock toll that you'd noticed last night too, but it's tolling 8 o'clock, and you think the sound's coming from the tower itself. And at that, there is a tall tiefling who appears to be in his middle years. Opens the front doors of the tower and walks out, and he starts asking names, and then your ears perk up when he gets to Yorish, Red Scale, and Fiddle Hatch.
I just want to point out that I do have my flute on me. Just want to say it before it gets too late, before I can say anything.
Okay. Do you have anything? I'm assuming you don't have your crossbow.
No, I don't think I brought any weapons.
I mean, probably the only thing that wouldn't be out of place is if, like, you had, like, a belt knife or a dagger.
Yeah.
So you could probably take your dagger in and be okay.
Yeah, I'll probably just put my magic dagger on my side.
All right. So your ears perk up when you hear your name's called, and you're expected to respond based on what the other people have done. So we'll just assume that you do that.
Yep.
After he finishes the list, he says, "It seems that all are accounted for. My name is Master Evoker Sirish Jurin. I will be your mother and your father in the coming years as Dean of Students. You may refer to me as Dean Jurin. You may come to me with any issues that may arise during your studies at the tower, within reason. I will not be entertaining issues of homesickness or bullying from other students. You have all come seeking arcane knowledge. It can be found here by students of the most serious intent, intelligence, and studious disposition. The answers of all the questions of the material and metaphysical can be found here by those who can receive them. Your instructors shall be stern but fair. You shall rise to the limits of your ability. Once you have reached those limits, you shall be sent away from the tower. We do this not as a cruelty, but as a kindness. Once you have reached the limits of your ability, anything else will be dangerous to you. After your time here, you shall ever be changed. You will know what many do not. We will train your mind not only for the arcane, but for logic and reason. Your studies will qualify you as an expert in all things. They will include, among other disciplines, history, languages, mathematics, politics, military strategy, commerce, finance, and agriculture. You are now part of an elite society, a member of the Tower of Insight. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to the Tower." So I think that's actually probably a good place to end it right there. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. A lot of people say this, but we really do want to hear from you. Are we shinier than a platinum piece? Or stankier than a kobold's loincloth? Let us know what you liked and didn't like. Everything helps this make a better podcast for you. Got an idea for monsters, items, and commercials? Let us know about it. You might hear it in the show. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at Dungeons and Debacles Podcast. We also have a website where you can learn more about the characters, lore, and maps of this world. You'll also find articles about Dungeons and Dragons and a whole lot more. Just search Dungeons and Debacles Podcast. Do you think the government of Luscane is spying on you and you don't have a social media account? Then email us at dungeondebacle@gmail.com. You can also check out the theme song and all the commercials you heard on the podcast on our YouTube account. Just search Dungeons and Debacles Podcast. New episodes come out every Sunday, so check your podcast app. And now a word from this week's sponsor.
Greetings, and welcome to the Wizard's Wardrobe. I'm the proprietor, Bala Kyril, at your service. We have Sul-El's most unique collection of magical items and potions. Have you ever wanted to fly? We have a potion for that. Have you ever wanted to be strong as a bull? We have an elixir that can make that happen. Did you use a magical item without knowing what it did? We have scrolls that can remove almost any curse. Once there was a young man that found a girdle, and when he put it on, it turned him into a lady. That was quite a shock, I'm sure. We helped him with that too. Oh, where was I? Oh yes, the Wizard's Wardrobe. We have rods and wands and cloaks and robes to fit almost any discerning adventurer's need. And all items have been identified by a certified wizard, so you know you're getting exactly what you paid for. Guaranteed. When you think of magic, think of the Wizard's Wardrobe. We're located on Elm Street in Luscane. And remember, if it didn't come from the Wizard's Wardrobe, who knows what you're getting?
The music you heard on this episode was For Origins, Intrepid, Water Prelude, Crowdhammer, The Snow Queen, Teller of the Tales, Ghost Story, and Hero Down by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. You can find that at creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0.